Hi, I'm Old Norse specialist Dr. Jackson Crawford. The name Thor means thunder and is related to the English word thunder. These are closely related languages, but why don't these words look very similar, even if they're from the exact same thing about, say, 1500, 2000 years ago? Well, that same thing, 1500, 2000 years ago, is Thunraz in Proto-Germanic. That means thunder. It comes from an Indo-European root, something like sten or ten. It has S mobile. That means the S shows up in some languages or branches or words and not in others. But they're actually very similar words for thunder all over the Indo-European language family, even in faraway languages. For example, uh, Persian tondor, as I understand it, is thunder. Now, Thunraz in Proto-Germanic has undergone Grimm's law, so the old T in the root has become a th. But what's happened in English is there's a tendency for N and R in contact to kind of excrete a D between them. So this old Thuner becomes Thunder, and for example, also an old Ganra becomes Gander, gander, like gander goose. Whereas in Old Norse, or before Old Norse, really at the Proto-Norse period, that N before an R simply disappears. So in a like way, the name Eric, comes from something that would otherwise be like ein riker, single king, one king, lone king. So at some point, we would go then from Thunraz to presumably Thoraz, with the vowel actually lowering with the loss of that N and being temporarily nasalized, but then those nasalized stressed vowels becoming long or becoming compensatorily long with the loss of the N. And then that Oz element is lost, or rather the vowel A is lost, and that old Z becomes another R. That's why it's Thor with two R's, and the nominative in Old Norse, and then accusative Thor with just one R, because that Z was the marker for the nominative, meaning the subject form. If Thor sees something that's Proto-Germanic Thunraz, Old Norse Thor. If you see Thor, that's Proto-Germanic Thunra, Old Norse Thor, with one R. In modern Icelandic, both nominative and accusative have a single R. And by the way, in Younger Futhark writing, in runes of the Viking Age, the name is written with only one R. That's because they won't write the same letter twice. They also apparently are kind of reluctant to write the two R letters twice in a row, even though one of those R's comes from an old Z and one doesn't.